Okalowo babalaroye.
Goes like this. The obsession. They must have tapped into our primal instincts. The excitement always surrounds a new thing. Laptops, iPads, tablets, consoles. Racing with the rate at which they release the latest device, new features, the flexing of technology's muscles. I feel it. Because my phone is now part of me. Yet it's out of date in 6 months. I wonder, what's the real cost of a phone call? Is it the embarrassing moments when I forget to turn it off before it goes off in a meeting at work? My mind's gone berserk, because ringtones set the wrong tones at an interview. Again at a cinema. Suspended suspense at the theatre. Side with my face, interrupting a kiss with my day. Or do I find the real cost of a phone call during times when I'm hungry because my phone bill got fat of eating my greens? But really, what if my phone rang every time my body dropped for the minerals it took to create it? Would I still want to answer it? I've been caught, red-handed, wondering how blood got on my hands. Answers found in a paper trail. Who would have thought my £30 a month bill contributed to a profits over people policy? Income margins marginalising the rise in death tolls, corporations whose cash flows rose from streaming reservoirs blooded by bodies of our people. But what news have we had? Whispers of mass rape have been heard, but never the reasons why. So I ask, what is the real cost of a phone call? When the network don't map out how we're connected, the signal's strong when you see the link. Guns are phones child soldiers use to make death calls. 6, 7, 8 million dead. Can someone please remind the UN they promised never to let the crimes of the Holocaust ever happen again? Yet it's the twisted fate of the Black Fist. I marvel at the dreams of a Black Panther, the potential of a free African nation's greatness confined to the fictions of a comic book strip. Check it out. They call that country Wakanda. The truth gives Stan Lee's characters powers off the page, but beyond storm's clouds you can see things could have been so different. July 2nd, 1925, marked the birth of a real superhero, the embodiment of the high heights of the Kingdom of Congo. He possessed the magnificence of his ancestors, so I wouldn't be surprised if his anatomy was made up of the mathematically marked bones called the Aishango. He even inspired Che Guevara. He was the one, recognized by Malcolm X as the greatest black man that ever walked the African continent. His name? Patrice Lumumba. Who? You may not have heard of him. He was the DRC's first elected Prime Minister, the people's leader, another black messiah they feared. Why? A man on a divine mission fears nothing but failure. He believes not even death can stop him, so he proceeds, making every effort to succeed. His intent evident from his speech in 1958 in Accra, Ghana at the Kwame Nkrumah-sponsored Pan-African Conference, where he declared his vision to free Congo from the shackles of colonialism and all its consequences. Because when you know your greatness, when you know that every human being is born in the accordance of the UN's Universal Declaration of the Rights of Man, that every man, woman and child has the right to freedom, justice, social peace, tolerance, well-being and equality, then you know that every nation has the right to self-determination. This is when you cannot be controlled. Then you are truly free. June 30th, 1960. A date so significant, marks the Democratic Republic of Congo's independence. But what is independence in a country situated at the centre of the earth, DRC, throne of the ether, Garden of Eden, with the hydroelectric potential to power the entire continent alone, with vast solar energy capacity untapped, containing an abundance of a diverse range of minerals including silver, gold, diamonds and cassiterite, which is the most traded metal on the London Metal Exchange. Basically, naturally, the richest country on the face of the planet. It has been said, whoever runs Congo runs the world. They never intended to let Africa go. Placed in a position of power, puppets cast shadows of vampires because puppet masters can't stand the light. The colonial masters knew their power increases unseen. Bloodsuckers in the dark feast on fertile lands fleshed with minerals. They get filthy rich from bathing in dirty money, stealing resources that was never theirs to take. So it's a relationship Belgium expected to continue. The demonic ghost of King Leopold II smiled, his evil legacy adulated arrogantly by King Baudin, the insults accepted when a perception of power is enough to satisfy those used to being two-thirds human being. But his heart, beating sounds of a lion's roar. Up stepped Prime Minister Lumumba with the kind of gangster that makes Tony Montana sit down and shut up. The world witnessed the star soar, a sight of wonder. His independence speech was sent from the heavens, a blazing ball of fire lit from the fingertips of King Pavita, stipulating that Africans suffered and fought. Africans suffered and fought. Africans suffer and fight. Blood, sweat and tears shed for the right to run their own country, their own continent. Words that caused the wall towers of Babylon to tremble. His very being threatened to crumble the existence of the power structures. That's why they feared him. Each and every sentence, a calm tide stokes an electric atmosphere of a common storm. The kind of static that porcupines their hair in the back of your neck. The impulse in those chained in observation to break free to a standing ovation. This is the incredible influence of one born to lead. Eyes of the world watching. Terrified shadow men flock to the think tank table, they're at fast. 40 years later, the truth apparently born, hidden in the film, the identity of those involved. The CIA, MI6, the Queen of Spies, Daphne Park, admitted they plotted possibly the most important assassination in the 20th century, with the Belgians and the Belgian-backed Tshombe to use UN soldiers and make Judas out of Mobutu. There was always one prepared to sacrifice an entire population for his own interest. No coincidence. The West invested dictated for over 30 years. They despise democracy in their invaded, exploited lands. That's why the democratic Lumumba lasted only 10 weeks. Besides his two comrades murdered in front of a firing squad, it wasn't enough. Orders for the Belgian soldiers to take it one step further, to eliminate Lumumba as a martyr. Beings capable of such shocking evil cannot be called human. Hollow shells open up the depths of hell. The demons savagely hacked Lumumba's body into pieces like they did with Africa in the 1880s, and then dissolved his remains into acid. Reasons why he was so dangerous become clear as I end this verse in his eternal words. No brutality, mistreatment or torture has ever forced me to ask for grace. I prefer to die with my head high, my faith steadfast, and my confidence profound in the destiny of my country. Dead, living, free, or imprisoned on the orders of the colonialists. It is not I who counts, it is the Congo. It is our people for whom independence has been transformed into a cage where we are regarded from the outside. History will one day have its say, but it won't be the history that Brussels, Paris, Washington, or the United Nations will teach, but that which they will teach in countries emancipated from colonialism and its puppets, a history of glory and dignity. Thank you for listening. Bless you.